It was 152 years ago today, the Battle of Gettysburg. The Civil War would go on for another 2 years before the South surrendered. David Levine is a photographer who went back to Gettysburg, where many of those famous photos from the battle were taken. We hear from him in tonight's First Person Report.
So this is a then and now photography project which gives people the chance to see how places have changed from 150 years ago to today. And I came armed with about 23 pictures that we'd found that we decided, having looked at the images and looked at the photographs of the areas today, that we might have a good chance at achieving the same photographs that were taken 150 years ago during the Civil War. The real beauty in these images is seeing the fade from then to now, and particularly if you have people in the original pictures that suddenly disappear and you're presented with the modern day image. It kind of has this very ghostly quality to it often. And the easiest way to find the precise location is to have a series of reference points at different distances from you. So when you're presented with a scene, if you have a building in the near foreground and you have a building way off in the distance, then it's quite easy to reference those two buildings to each other to work out where you should be in relation to those two buildings. Some of the pictures, for instance, there's one at Devil's Den, and it's just a series of boulders, and it's quite difficult to use those kind of landmarks as your reference points. Also, some of the landscapes have changed quite a lot, whether that's the natural landscape or the buildings themselves. Some buildings have been modified lots over the past 150 years. The Civil War era was an amazing time for photography. It was only, I'd say, 20, 25 years after the birth of photography. And the guys that were working at the time were real pioneers in their craft. These guys were artists, and they really looked at themselves as artists. When I'm in the field and when I'm trying to get the photograph, I get quite technical about things, actually. So I don't necessarily get swept away by the emotions of the historical events at the time. But when you're laying the images on top of each other, it really starts to take that kind of impact.
And you can see more of David Levine's photography at the website Guardian.com.